Chairman, my question will be on Kenyans working as domestic workers in the Middle East, and I want to focus in Saudi Arabia. And my reference will be the gravity of the reports concerning the mistreatment of Kenyans working there, ranging from denying of food, beaten to death, taken to jail under unnecessary circumstances. Honorable Chairman, just recently, and I want to say thank you to you because you're among those people who assisted me together with the Cabinet Secretary, Prime Minister Musalia Mudavadi, to bring the body of one of my electorates, a lady who was working in Saudi Arabia, traveled with his employer to Egypt, and after 2 days he died under unclear circumstances. It took us 1.5 months to have the body brought to Nairobi, then transferred to Mombasa. Honorable Chairman, I know there have been some reforms regarding the same issues, but I'm feeling that somehow there's no law enforcement, and I believe they are what we call international labor standards or labor laws, and we also have those who are domestic. And most of the time we are talking about this issue, we are putting some reforms, but yet nothing is being done. In the reports of that case which I've just mentioned, it has written that the death of this lady is under investigation. And this is not the first time. I had another previous case some months back. It had the same report that it is under investigation. But after that, there is no feedback, there is nothing, and it's just like that, and no justice is achieved on that. So my question is, do we have some protocol where should be followed in case of such unfortunate happenings that the family maybe need to follow so that to ensure that they get the body at good time? For us as Muslim, you can imagine she was a Muslim and she had to stay in mortuary for almost 1.5 months for her to come back to Kenya. So I'm like, this is an area where we have to put some policies or rather some measures. And I know we have some impediment because some of the countries, maybe they are not subscribing to the United Nations and especially on universal human rights law. And that is why it became very difficult. We have been putting so many resolutions at the international level regarding this issue of human rights violation. But still these cases keep on happening each and every time. And yet we don't know. This family, they're just there, they get the body, nothing is being told to them, and sometimes even they don't get the belongings of that person. They just receive the body, and that is all. Some of them, they're denying their passport. The passports are confiscated. Some of them, they're rendered jobless. They had to go and sleep in the mosque and in the street in Saudi Arabia. So I think this is a matter which we really need to deal with. My second question...
He can only do so if he's confirmed.
Yeah, if you are confirmed, that is. And my second question is a plan to address the challenges faced by online job seekers in Kenya, utilizing the Ajira platform which the government of Kenya Kwanza has initiated. But I know it has been marred by so many challenges from digital infrastructure, especially in the rural area, lack of digital literacy, fraudulent job seekers. Job offers, whereby our youth have lost millions and nothing is being done on that. What kind of intervention will you implement to tackle these challenges and ensure equitable access to online employment opportunity to all our Kenyans and more so protect them from these fraudulent offers?
Thank
you. On a light note, because now maybe you're going to be confirmed as Waziri for Labor and Social Protection. Kenyans are thinking that you should minimize this drama, especially on your marital status, because somehow they can jeopardize your character or put you in a very negative situation. Because now we want to see that even our cabinet secretaries...
Point of order.
About opulence.
Order, Mishi.
Yes.
I think there is no requirement for one to be married to be considered for public office in this country.
I'm saying that drama, there'll be some drama. You have talked about opulence. You talked about opulence on Murchumba, Murkomen. You talked about opulence on Honorable Jogo.
This committee will not open anybody's bedroom. Shuria, stop laughing and ask your question.
I think, Chairman, it's best you protect people's bedrooms, as you said. We don't want those matters coming out here in the public.
Because you're men, eh?
I think...
The nominee, you will not comment on that.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think Caleb came up with a very long list, and I just want to, maybe in future he might get another opportunity. Mheshimiwa, if approved, what key results or deliverables can Kenyans expect from you in the short, medium, and long term? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Raso, and then Mule.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Alfred, you are the governor of Machakos, and also you are government spokesman. During those 2 stints, we were able to follow you. You were able to publicize what you are doing, the government agenda, when you are the spokesman. But once you were vetted by this committee and you appointed a cabinet secretary, you just slowly faded away. Is it that maybe it is comfort zone to be a cabinet secretary? Or the dockets that you occupy were not really engaging? Because Article 152 clearly says what is cabinet. The president, the deputy president, the attorney general, and 14 to 21 cabinet secretaries. Those are the people who run government. And because of your background, we expected you to really support the government you are serving, particularly in advising them on the area of communication. Because your PhD is on communication. So maybe you will comment on that. Honorable Speaker, I need to ask something on labor. Not preamble, because I am just asking 2 questions because of time.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Alfred, my second question, we had 2 generals in the army, the late General Mlinge, General Mahmoud. During the army recruitment, recruiting officers will go to an area and they will say, look out for this tribe, because they were looking out for the minorities, that minorities should not be excluded from the army. When we come to the ministry, if the House approves you, the ministry you are likely to go to, labor. Do we have systems in place to monitor, to evaluate, to look for minorities? Because I think it's not good enough to just speak on the radio, the social media, or the Gazette. And yet a lot of youngsters who are in the rural areas do not have access to many of these things. So if the House approves your nomination, what is it that you are likely to do? That there is regional balance, ethnic balance, and a lot of youngsters will be able to get opportunity in Kenya and even overseas. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much.
No Machakos drama. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I stand guided. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask the nominee. This country, and I want to tell the civil servants in this government, there have been unrest in different cadres, doctors, nurses, lab technologists, electricians, whatever. And once there is unrest between labor disputes, there is always a negotiation and an agreement is arrived. But time and again, you will come and hear that the same union claiming that the government is not honoring the agreements. As you get into this ministry, can you tell Kenyans what will you do to make sure that every agreement between the civil servant and the government of the day are implemented to the letter, not to leave it just to unions, not to leave it to the ministry itself, not to leave it, even, we saw the last one for doctors, whereby we have a ministry for labor, but the head of public service had to come in for negotiation. When we have a standalone ministry for labor, please, if you are approved by this committee, tell Kenyans today how you will do differently to make sure that we don't get this embarrassment to the employees of government.
Nominee, you can answer those from Honorable Mishi, Shurie, Raso, and Mule.
I want to agree with Honorable Mishi about the gravity of the issues. I have done my research and I've realized that our children are going to countries where we don't really have agreements with those countries about how to operate and what needs to be operated. There used to be a big problem also because I remember I sat on this seat, Mr. Speaker, and I promised that if confirmed and appointed as the Minister of Foreign Affairs, my first trip would be to Saudi Arabia, and I did that. I went to Saudi Arabia, I met Kenyans, I met people who are suffering, and we started the process of changing, and a bilateral labor agreement is to be signed between Kenya and Saudi Arabia and some of these countries, which I will push for. One of the things that I would like to do is also get lawyers, our lawyers from the Attorney General's office, to go to some of these countries and study and understand their laws, because we need to know what we are dealing with. Because what we may think here is important may not be covered in their laws, so that we can also be able to know how to navigate those countries, because we can't go and impose our laws to them. And we see how we can work with them, especially if they are not signatories of international conventions that we are signatories to. And the protocols that need to be measured. And my apologies that, you know, you've had to go through many of these challenges where people die and they can't even get their things to be brought back home. It is also important also about online job seekers, going with the question by Honorable Ishungwa. It's all about communication, people to know how to do it. But I want to set up a proper portal that will answer many things, so that you look at available opportunities, but also to weed out all these crooked agencies. We'll publish as a government a portal and lists, which you can even put in the newspapers, of the approved agencies, because people keep on asking, is this right? Hii advertising ya Canada ni ukweli, hii ni ukweli. So that now any advertisement without the name of a company, we can be dealt with, you know, according to the law, because they'll be lying to people. And if there's a name of a company, people can cross-check the government website or government documents and be able to verify that that is a recognized and proper company. And don't be surprised if we have to knock out a few companies and bring more in that are straightforward, so that they don't lie to our people. So we're looking at a one-stop shop in terms of connecting people to jobs. Mheshimiwa,